From the courthouse to Crotona Park, for the first time in nearly a decade, Donald Trump is having a campaign rally in New York.
Yeah, he's heading to the Democratic stronghold of the Bronx in an effort to win over Black and Latino voters. Joining us this morning, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who represents part of the Bronx and Queens, to talk more about this. Congresswoman, thanks for being here on Pix 11 this morning.
Of course.
So let's talk about this, Congresswoman. Let me just get your initial thoughts overall on the former president's decision to have his rally in the Bronx. This hasn't happened in decades for a Republican to hold a rally in the Bronx. Your thoughts?
You know, I think this is definitely related to a lot of the legal proceedings that keep him here in New York City. And not only just the fact that he has to physically be here, but also the mounting legal costs. And he is seeking to come to the Bronx in order to, I think, just essentially hold a GoFundMe campaign for his legal fees right now. And it's really important that Bronxites ensure that we're staying safe today and that we avoid any sort of heated interaction.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a permit for an estimated 3,500 people to attend this rally, and he is expected to talk about crime. That's a major concern for a lot of Bronx residents. So do you think he's actually going to gain some ground with the undecided voters that are out there?
I mean, I think while he's going to have this permit for several thousand people, how many of them are actually going to be locals and Bronxites, I think is an open question. There are real concerns that we have, and there are real issues that we are fighting for, and real issues that deserve to be addressed. The cost of health care is so important to our folks, not just in the Bronx, but across the city. Making sure that we're addressing the runaway housing crisis and as well as soaring costs of rent, mortgages, that I think is incredibly important. And of course, public safety issues, immigration, but these are all related to our ability to afford living in the city. And for me, I know that one of the things that's really important is fighting on the issues that we're actually feeling in our pockets.
Yeah, you know, and I want to talk about some of those issues you just touched upon, because the Black and Latino vote is critical in presidential elections, specifically this upcoming presidential election. We see new ads out just today from President Biden targeting the Black and Latino vote as well. Presidential candidates rarely visit the Bronx, on both sides of the equation here, right? So do you think that this upcoming election will be different in how voters go out and vote?
I think that this election is already shaping up to be different, and I think it's actually quite positive that Black and Latino electorates are really being seen and valued in this election. I know that we have so many broad different issues, our economic issues, wage issues, criminal justice issues. They're all so incredibly important. And that's one of the reasons why I fight for issues like making sure that we're expanding Medicare to more New Yorkers, maybe lowering that age, making sure that we're fighting for tuition-free public colleges and universities and investments in our K through 12 schools, and also making sure that we're taking on the soaring costs of rent and housing. And those are the issues that I also think are incredibly important to our Black and Latino communities. And I also think that we're going to kind of see through this and stay focused on the issues at hand.
Yeah, and I think that's why it's so important that people make sure their voices are heard. The New York primaries, those are coming up next month. Those generally have a very low turnout. So what do you think is really at stake in these primaries?
Well, what I think is really important when it comes to primary elections is that, especially in a place like New York, or frankly, the vast majority of the country, no matter what party you affiliate yourself with, usually are represented in a seat that is either safely blue or safely red. And so what that means is that the real race for who is going to be representing you is often decided in a primary election. And in just about a month, New Yorkers have the primary. It's on June 25th. There's also early voting. And this is really a time when folks are going to be able to decide which Democrat or which Republican will be representing them, mostly in New York, which Democrat. And that's why I think it's incredibly important. I myself won my election primarily through a primary, a contested primary. And so that, I think, is really important for folks to start doing that research now and take a look at who's running for office in your own backyard.
Yeah, and not be complacent in the voting. You know, so I do want to go back to the Bronx for a second, because the former president heading there. But would you like to see President Biden in the district campaigning for the issues that you're speaking about?
I will always make sure that we're welcoming President Biden, whether it's in the Bronx, whether it's in other areas of the city. He recently came not too long ago, but I think one of the most impactful visits that he made to my district overall was after Hurricane Ida. He came in and visited areas of Queens that had been flooded, devastating a lot of folks' homes, and ensuring that we secure FEMA funds in order to help get people back on their feet. And I think that's one of the things that I appreciate about the president, is that it's not just campaign season that he's coming to New York City. He's coming to govern and help us out as well.
Yeah, and will you be at that counter rally in the Bronx today?
I will not be at the counter rally in the Bronx today, but I will be in the community. I'll be on hand just in case anything unfolds. But I'll be here at the ready for folks here at home.
We're on limited time here, but before we let you go, I do want to ask you about something that was all over social media. It was all over the airwaves a week ago when we saw that a heated exchange involving you, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? Is this, Congresswoman, really becoming the new norm on Capitol Hill? We're seeing this heated rhetoric on both sides, really. And what was really behind that exchange?
Well, I think one of the things that's important here to note is that this wasn't just kind of a tit for tat or an outburst. This was actually a vote that was held by the Republican majority to essentially suspend the typical rules of debate. Now, these rules have historically been quite respected on a bipartisan basis. They are the rules of the House, and you know, it's very unfortunate to see that the Republican majority suspended that in order to allow Marjorie Taylor Greene, Representative Greene, to engage in that kind of rhetoric. But at the same time, it's also, in my view, not acceptable to allow someone to be bullied in that way, particularly a younger freshman member. I think that, you know, while it's not okay for her to be bullied in that way, the idea here is that we need to respect the rules. And if someone's going to be bullied, we also need someone to stand up to bullies as well.
Yeah, was there any conversation following up after that when the cameras were not on?
Well, I've certainly spoken with actually the chairman of the committee, and we are trying to emphasize a return to the normal rules of debate that have always governed the committee. And that's ultimately what this is all about. It's less about the personalities, and it's more about respecting the rules that we've always respected.
Yeah, not going after a person's public appearance.
Absolutely.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, appreciate you making the time for us this morning. I know you're very busy.
Of course. Thank you so much.